Hey, it's February 13th, 2013, and I'm Brian. And for those of you who don't know, I've been doing a series of health experiments that I call the Health Satori Project. And right now I've been doing an experiment to observe my cholesterol because I want to see if cholesterol levels are predictable and if I can predict what cholesterol I'm going to have based on what I'm eating. So right now, actually, I've done bananas for the last 30 days, and I'm about to spike my cholesterol today by just gorging on beef, which, if you don't know, I do raw. I've got some raw ground beef here that I'm going to be eating soon, but I'm also going to use about 2 or 3 dozen eggs. I'll see how I feel after the beef. And before you say eggs don't raise your cholesterol, just go ahead, check out my research and some of my other work on my Facebook page at the Health Satori Project on Facebook, and you'll see that I've got pretty definitive proof that yes, eggs do raise your cholesterol. But this video is more about the show rather than talking about my project. So again, the Health Satori Project on Facebook, you can check that out. But right now, I'm going to start by seeing how quickly I can eat 4 pounds of raw beef. Now this right here is an individual package of beef. It's weighed out at 1 pound. So I'm going to make sure to get my timer set here. But I got a timer, nothing fancy. But I'm going to be opening these up so you can see I've got 4 packages over here. I'm going to be opening them up. I will be eating them by hand, but I'm just going to try to eat these as fast as I can. I'm hopefully going for less than 8 minutes, but we'll see how it goes. Because I have been eating bananas and I haven't really been practicing for this volume or type of eating, it might go a little bit slow, but I'm gonna be hopeful. So this is just defrosted. I want to see it too. There's no cooking here, no cooking. These are still just freshly defrosted, and that's it. And this is actually how I've been eating beef for the last several months. Ironic, since some of my last videos, I have since married a beautiful, wonderful, amazing woman who happens to be vegan. She is the one filming right now, and I'm sure she is loving this. So, and the dog has just smelled the raw beef. Alright, so I'm going to work on getting this out of here. Okay, so this looks like a lot now that I stack it up. This is what I'm about to start eating. Alright, here we go. Starting the timer. Right? Good stuff. Alright, less than a minute for the first pound. I'm going to slow down a minute because the food's still sliding down the old esophagus. But all is good. I'm already having to slow down here. Second lap was, well, it was 1:12. Right now I'm at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I know I'm going to get through 3. I'm not sure if I'm going to get through 4, but over a show. My dog will be really happy if I don't make it through all 4. Hey, all right. It's a little bit later, actually. It's about 9:30 p.m. Still on February 13th, and I cut my last clip a little bit short because, well, it kind of got a little bit boring. I did finish 3 pounds of beef. It's kind of difficult switching from one food to the other. So a lot of times it takes at least a couple days to really get adjusted to it. Plus, again, it was about 6 p.m. When I was eating the beef, and I had essentially fasted all day. So kind of hit a little bit harder than I expected, and wasn't used to it. So not trying to lay down excuses, but I do hold myself very high when it comes to my competitive eating. So normally speaking, I can take down 4 pounds no problem. Still need to time myself on another occasion and see what I can do. But right now, it's to the eggs. And the eggs are really important because the eggs really spike cholesterol a lot more than anything else. Beef does too, don't get me wrong, but when I was eating beef, I was eating a lot of beef. I'm not cooking it, I'm not trimming it, so I'm eating a ton of saturated fat. And saturated fat and cholesterol both, really help produce cholesterol, or really get your cholesterol, your serum cholesterol high. So anyway, I'm going to be going to eggs. Now, the way I usually like to do eggs here is just cracking them into a glass. I've got a spoon over here just in case I lose a shell. But normally I like to shoot these. It's just because I got a full dozen to do now, and about another full dozen to do before midnight anyway. So right now, I'm going to take 2 and I'm going to be shooting these. So, I'm not sure if you ever had all raw eggs before, but I actually can talk a little bit this time while I'm getting these ready. A lot of people think that, have the misconception that eggs themselves contain salmonella, and you have to cook eggs to get rid of the salmonella. But that is actually incorrect. Salmonella is actually on the outside of the egg. And most of the problems with our food don't come from the food itself, they come from the handling and the environment of the food. And in the case of eggs, it's actually from really poor living conditions. If you've ever read into the living conditions of chickens, they're actually really, really poor. This one's not coming there. There we go. The living conditions of eggs are actually, or of chickens are actually really poor, and salmonella typically comes from the feces of rodents and rats that gets on the outside of the egg. So it's actually important to wash your hands after you handle eggs to reduce the risk, but you're not going to get salmonella from eating raw eggs. And just in case too, I didn't mention this with beef, the beef is individually packed, frozen, good quality grass-fed beef. I'm not doing this. I would not suggest doing this with beef that is like out in a counter display or that was handled. Like when you get beef from Walmart, for example, it's handled by multiple people. Walmart's not who's processing the beef, or any third-party grocery store, for that matter. These are bought in Texas. They are Texas pasture-raised organic eggs. So I'm doing this with high-quality eggs, and not with, I'm not doing it with Eggland's Best or anything. And I would also recommend that if anyone does this, that they do the same, that they buy high-quality food. All right, there's 6 down. I'm gonna start going to singles here, just make this a little bit easier. Singles are actually much easier to shoot. So, just eating some eggs. Again, I have to give much props to my wife, who is now filming me, who is vegan and just completely grossed out of this. So, and actually, to discuss a couple more of the numbers with eggs, since I have some time, when I did my first egg experiment, I started off eating 42 eggs a day. I did not start eating them raw. I was actually initially doing them hard boiled. But yeah, within 1 week, my cholesterol went from 99 to 232. So trust me, eggs raise cholesterol. I have got to finish 2 dozen eggs prior to midnight, and then I'm going to have a 12-hour fast, and then I'll be going in, might give a couple extra hours, just because these fatty foods typically take a lot longer to process. So because I ate, I'm going to be eating 2 dozen raw eggs after, eating 3 pounds of raw beef, so I know that I'm going to have stuff sitting around in my stomach well past midnight. So a lot of times I recommend 8-hour fasts. I typically do 12-hour fasts, but this time, again, I think I'm going to do, probably wait a couple more hours. Maybe go in at 3, give it 15 hours, give another 3 hours to digest. So I'm on my last 2. I've done 10 so far. Dozen eggs is really no problem from a value perspective. They go down pretty easy. Here's the last one. It's kind of funny, I remember some people eating raw eggs. You see like Rocky and things like that. We got these big badasses taking down raw eggs and shakes and like raw. And this is just eating a dozen like it's nothing. Anyway, cheers. Last one. There we go. Awesome. I'm just kidding. Wait, just kidding there. Actually, just if you're wondering what the spoon was, this was in case I got any shell in the drink, which I did not, so I didn't need to use it. So there you go. 12 eggs. I'll be doing another 12 here before midnight and get my cholesterol test. So we'll see how it goes, and until next time.